morning, Stephen and Ellie.
He'd already been found guilty.
Yeah.
He was sentenced yesterday, so he is serving time now.
Yes, he is.
He was filmed going into court. I mean, talk about a total lack of remorse.
Yeah, I've never seen something so shocking in someone who has no sympathy whatsoever for the distress, the embarrassment and the humiliation he's caused this poor young girl. Even when he was at court yesterday, he was saying, before he went in, he was saying that the trial hadn't been fair. He was singing Lady in Red, posing for selfies. And I'm like, you are about to be a man who's about to go on the sex offenders list, and for the next 10 years you're going to be having to give him notifications about your whereabouts. You've caused this woman so much distress, sending that clip to millions of people, and he still doesn't seem to care. You know, in January, it was only in January, he was trying to sell his own adult entertainment content 50% off, and he's been supported by his girlfriend. So it's quite sickening and it's quite shocking. You know, there's always that old saying, sex sells, but it shouldn't be sold at the expense of someone's dignity. And I think that's why Georgia has come out and she says she feels vindicated. And, you know, during this case, she could have kept her anonymity private, but she decided to put herself out there, which I think is quite brave, is taking back power from him. And it's also making an example, because, you know, this is not the first time a celebrity sex tape has been leaked or sold. Someone like Kim Kardashian, she's managed to make a career out of it. But for someone like Georgia, she's lost work, she's been left with panic attacks, she's had to move back in with her mother. So I think for this younger generation where everything is always being filmed and, you know, young girls could be thinking, you know, a sex tape is out there of me and there's nothing I can do. This case proves actually, no, something different can happen.
Yeah, and I mean, the difference between Kim Kardashian and Georgia Harrison in this case is Kim Kardashian knew that she was being filmed. Georgia Harrison didn't. Did she? And she spoke about that and the impact that it had on her throughout this case.
Definitely. Her trust was broken, you know. I think, you know, private, behind closed doors, she didn't even know it was being filmed in his garden. And, you know, once she did, she said, please don't send it anywhere. And the fact that he's managed to make money off it and he has no remorse, it's quite shocking. And I can imagine for her moving forward, even though justice has been served, it's going to affect her trust with men in the future. And it's quite scary to think that you can be in such an intimate situation like that and it be exploited in the way it has.
It's quite interesting because his attitude to it all yesterday was frankly remarkable. If he doesn't show any sort of remorse, I mean, normally people get out after half a term.
Yeah.
If he's behaving like that 12 months in, I'm not going to let him out till the end of his sentence.
You know what? He's kind of enjoyed himself on bail. You know, now the reality, I think it's the morning after where he's woken up in a prison cell and the reality will start to sink in of his future now, because I think, you know, when he comes out, he's going to have that stain across his name. I don't know who's going to work with him, and he's going to be known as someone who's potentially a pervert.
But now, is it going to matter? Because one thing which, and they say there's this bit of footage that went viral yesterday where he's surrounded by actually female reporters asking him questions about remorse and the rest of it, and his behaviour is astounding, frankly. But in the middle of it, there's a young girl comes up to have a selfie with him. So it's always going to have that appeal, isn't it? I mean, I found that extraordinary.
This is where this whole reality TV generations is a bit warped, because then you get fans who don't actually see the seriousness of such cases. And, you know, some people won't take cases like this seriously unless it's rape. You know, in that younger generation, they're very much filming everything. Everything's up to be seen and displayed, where sex is not really sacred anymore. So that's why maybe he still has that appeal with younger women, where they're like, oh, he didn't rape her and it was consensual.
Well, but the filming wasn't.
Filming wasn't.
And this is why...
She didn't know it was going to be posted, did
And
she?
this is why we need to be talking more about voyeurism, and that's why I'm glad Georgia won the case, because it is a serious crime now, and I think younger people and even older people need to be aware of such things. We can't get away with such things like that again.
No, it just isn't right, is it?